In February 2018, on a dark night in rural Mississippi, 21-year-old Willie Andrew Jones Jr. was found hanging from a tree in his white girlfriend's front yard. Within hours, local authorities suggested his death was homicide, but to his family, the official story felt wrong, not a case of self-harm, but a modern-day lynching. So what really happened to Willie Jones? Was it a tragic suicide as investigators initially claimed? Or was it a brutal murder hidden by a flawed investigation and a wall of silence? Here's the official story. After an argument with his girlfriend, Willie Jones went outside her family's home. A short time later, her stepfather, Harold O'Brien Jr., called 911 to report that Jones had hanged himself. The Scott County Sheriff's Department, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI all investigated. Their public position was that the death was consistent with suicide, and a grand jury found no reason to bring criminal charges. However, a state medical examiner's report offered a more complicated picture, listing the cause of death as strangulation, but the manner of death as undetermined. For Willie's family, the idea of suicide never made sense. They point to an old shoulder injury from his high school football days, which they say made it impossible for him to lift his arm high enough to hit himself. They allege that the girlfriend's stepfather, Harold O'Brien Jr., was openly hostile to the interracial relationship and had even threatened Jones with a gun that same night. Attorneys for the family have called it a modern-day lynching. The stark difference between the two stories played out in court, but not in the way you might expect. No criminal charges have ever been filed against anyone for Willie's death. However, the Jones family filed a civil lawsuit against O'Brien. When O'Brien failed to appear in court to defend himself, a judge entered a default judgment, awarding the family nearly $11.4 million in damages. Today, two narratives exist side by side, one of a young man's tragic suicide and another of a horrific murder silenced by a justice system that failed to look deeper. One man was held responsible in a civil court, yet no one has been held criminally accountable. The full truth of what happened to Willie Andrew Jones Jr. remains buried, leaving a family with unanswered questions and a community haunted by the ghosts of its own history.